Monchi's podcast.
So yeah, now we are definitely on air.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet, nice, cool that we can do this together. I think it's gonna be a nice episode. Have you on the podcast? Always in the beginning.
Yeah, I've been waiting a while now. I'm joking.
Sweet. Yeah, man, have you actually already posted your Serum 2 story?
I've not yet. I need to work on that. No, I've not actually tried it. I've downloaded it, but I've not tried it out yet. I need
Really?
to. Yeah, I've been just focusing on a track that I've been trying to finish for a while. So I've just been focusing on that.
Yeah.
And then probably after that, I'll get onto it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of the features and stuff like this. Have you used it yet?
No, I haven't yet as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's very remarkable how the whole producer community is going crazy. Like everybody's like posting a selfie with them and Serum.
Yeah. Everyone's so excited.
Yeah.
It's fun to see, actually. It's pretty funny.
How they just mic dropped Serum, like, oh, it's out, and everybody's like, wow.
There wasn't even like a pre-warning before, was there? I didn't hear anything or anyone talk about like, oh, Serum 2 is going to come out. I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah,
kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's actually true. I just saw like a month ago, there's this one guy on YouTube doing like plugin news. Weaver Beats is his name, and he has talked about rumors of Serum 2 because in some forums, like, I don't know, the name is not anymore Gear Sluts, but it was formerly named Gear Sluts, and there were some people asking. There were some people somehow speaking about Serum 2, and some guys who were involved into developing the Serum 2 have answered some questions. But this is just the only thing I've heard of. Like, people said
they had inside information.
Yeah, but yeah, I also, for me, it was surprising. Even though I already have heard it, that I saw just some people posting something about Serum 2, and it was like, when did it got released? And then I realized it was just 2 hours ago or whatever, and then all out of the sudden everybody's like, oh, my phone is ringing. Oh, we just muted. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. I'm just gonna put on Do Not Disturb as well if anyone does ring me.
Yeah.
Just put on airplane mode. Okay.
Go fuck yourself.
I saw also there was a lot of people having like their sites were crashing. So obviously like a lot of people are trying to get it all at once and stuff. I got it like probably a good 10-15 hours after it launched. So I had no problems at all, like just downloading it. It was really quick. I didn't actually understand though. There was I downloaded it for free, but I wasn't sure if it was because I had Splice or if like anyone could download it for free if they had Serum 1. I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, it's a free extension or free upgrade on Serum 1.
Which is strange because I saw a lot of people actually purchasing it and buying it. And then in my head, I was like, I swear you had Serum 1 though. Maybe they didn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe they actually didn't know and they just spent the money on by mistake and didn't even realize.
I mean, actually, I don't think the guy needs any more money, but
probably
he
not.
definitely deserves it, man. Yeah, he's
unless he is in like a big debt that we don't know about.
Yeah. But I saw Act 1 just yesterday posted like a new episode of the Mr. Bill podcast, and there he's actually interviewing the Serum guy Steve Duda, and they talk about lots of stuff there about the Serum 2 upgrade, and I'm keen to listen to that as well. There was already one episode like a long time ago where he had the guy on, and it just seems to be like a really funny chill guy. Like, yeah,
That's cool.
big hero.
Nice. I've still not got into the Mr. Ville podcast. I do need to adventure over there.
I mean, I think it makes sense if you are into podcasts, but if that's in general not your format of choice, which you prefer for getting entertained, I think it's hard to get into it. But man, he has so many top tier guests there, like Virtual Riot, Richard Devine,
Right, okay.
the guy from the Doom soundtrack, Mick Gordon. He also has an episode with Freedom Fighters and Infected Mushrooms as well.
Okay.
Like, yeah, man, it's pretty packed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good. It's like all sort of different spectrums. Like you have one from like Psytrance guys, and then you have from blockbuster movies, like Hollywood movies. And that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah. That's nice. I need to go check it out.
Yeah, I think the majority is just bass music related people, but yeah, there are like these exceptions, like Richard Devine or Mick Gordon or the ones I've already mentioned. Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. I was listening like a shit ton to it like last winter, and was very cool when I was, and of course still a lot like into audio stuff and whatnot, but last winter I really had like this desire of soaking all the information I could get like in, because at this time my son was getting older and a little bit more independent, and also started to go into the kindergarten, so I had way more time, and I was like, give it all to me. And it's very cool to just, in my opinion, to just listen to people geeking around sound stuff, pro people, like
absolutely, very interesting.
Yeah, but hey, man, I think it would be nice if you maybe just real quick introduce yourself to the guys.
Okay. Let's see how I can put this. So, my name's Jordan. I'm from Portugal. I make music. I make Psytrance, and my DJ artist name is Cheeky Jojo. What else could I say? I'm signed to Braingames Records, which is a record label from Switzerland.
Yeah.
Don't know what else I really could add to that. I think that's pretty much it.
Sounds pretty decent.
Short but sweet.
Huh? What?
Short but sweet.
Yeah, short but and would maybe also nice to tell the people how we met each other, because it's very diffused to me how we had like our first encounters.
It was quite a while ago, wasn't it? It was probably coming up to 2 years or so, a year and a half.
Yeah, makes
roughly,
sense,
give or take.
Yeah,
I think like a lot of us producers, we online met on Instagram. I think. I think both of us were probably just very interested in each other's music and started connecting like that, I guess. And we built up I'd say a pretty decent friendship.
Yeah, yes. Man, I ever so often I need to be grateful and thankful for that internet. Like,
yes, absolutely.
Like, for example, but you are not the only example. Like, actually, we could also talk a little bit about Muse Gang, like the whole Muse Gang thing, like where we
got a pretty good community over in Muse, which is for the people that don't know, I'm pretty sure you probably talked about it in your episodes and podcasts.
Yeah,
I basically bring it down to like it's for people that don't have much knowledge about it. Would say it's like Zoom for music producers, I guess, with a lot of really good features. And we basically have like a community over there. where we've met online, and we've built like good friendships, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, man, to me, that just like stuff like this is possible. Like it wouldn't have been like this like 30 years ago, maybe
Absolutely.
40 years ago, just to...
It's having this this software has really helped me, and also because it can be very lonely at the end of the day when you're alone in your studio. So having this like software, or this what would you call it, this place where we can come together and not only share ideas and give good feedback, which is awesome, and it's great that we do this, but it's also just like can sort of hang and chat and talk about things other than music, which I think is really good. Because like I was saying before, it can get very lonely. In my case, I'd say, I don't know about you.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
you know, I do love spending hours and hours in my studio, and I've got many friends out there that probably would like to hang out, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm just probably just gonna stay here and do a bit of music. And it's like I just get glued to my chair, like I think a lot of us do.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, obviously it's good to have this place where we can come and like share, and whenever we sort of, I don't know, need a little minute, like a breather, where we're like, oh, do you know what? I've done too much music. I need to get my focus onto something else. It's good to come onto this. And it's good. And I think it's good that also we welcome new people and into it that are interested in coming along. I think that is really good, because like I was saying before, it's a good place to get like good feedback, because there are pretty good experienced artists on there that we have, which is very good, and I'm very grateful for them. But it's also a good like little community where we can just chat and hang, basically.
Man, I totally agree. It's really nice also to see it growing, like getting more and more new people there, more and more new inputs. Like I think I missed this for a very long time before I discovered Muse, to just have like a place to share the stuff, like as much as I need to share them. Of course, before sometimes I could show like my friends from my town who are supporting me, of course, but don't feel the grind as much as I do. But to have these like-minded people who understand like the problems, the frustration, and to have like almost at any time somebody here where you can talk to, oh man, like this mix is breaking me.
It's the more like technical stuff, but I think it's good to have both, because for someone that listens to a lot of Psytrance, has been to a lot of raves, parties, festivals, whatever, but they don't produce, I think it's also good to have that kind of feedback, because they can give a very simple explanation in terms of like how they're feeling. I think on the producer side, which is also very great, I think both sides are great. Obviously, on the producer side, when we show our music and we get feedback, it's more the technical stuff, more like the production side of it. But I think both are actually really good.
Definitely.
Obviously, and then there are those other friends where don't really listen too much and they try and give their opinion. It's like, oh, maybe you should do like a bit of this or a bit of that. And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Well, but you could do like this now, some drums and stuff, you know, or take away the space here, like
Oh, I heard this techno song once, and they do a lot of this. No, don't do this.
The song is nice, but could you do it a little bit more like XYZ artist? Like if you do a little bit of that artist, like would be cool.
I hate that so much. Because like a lot of us know that we try to have like our personality and our character. Then there's the people that don't really don't get that. They don't understand that, like, obviously there are a lot of people that are, I don't want to say copycats, but a lot of people that don't really have an identity so much, in my opinion. They can have obviously a different opinion. In my opinion, I think there are artists that don't have that. So I think that for me, anyways, how I want to try and make music is to step away from that, like, oh, but this guy does it this way, maybe I should do it like that as well.
Yeah.
That just doesn't say much to me. And then when people are like, oh, you should do it like this guy, I'm like, no, that's you don't know me like well enough to, like, you know what I mean?
Hey, you know Asterix? Like
Yeah. I had that's really funny you say that. I've got a really good friend, bless her.
Yeah.
She supported me so much. She goes to a lot of the gigs that I've played at. Yeah, it gives a lot of support on that, but she just doesn't understand much about, like, the Psytrance industry, and especially like the subgenre that we do and focus on. And there was at one time I finished the gig and she came up to me, she's like, oh, you're better than Asterix. The music is, like, so good, it's like Asterix. And I'm like, firstly, you don't know anything about, if you think that my music is like Asterix or it's better, I'm like, you need to hear more of my kind of music. And it was pretty funny. Obviously, bless her, because she's trying to support me, and I'm grateful. But
that's cute.
In my mind, I was like, I just started laughing and like, what are you saying? So
yeah, go ahead on the top of the world, like, it's yours now. yeah, really, really sweet, man. Yeah, it's I'm actually very happy that very slowly, some of my friends are also, like, enjoying for real the music I do. So friends who were also not so much into Psytrance, but then when I showed them, like, my recent tracks, like over the last year, yeah, they becoming Monchi fanboys. It's
that's great.
Very,
it grows.
Very sweet to see when because they were, like, my peer group or whatever, my friends. Like, there's just this one half which is really looking down on Psytrance, like these hippie peace people who are ignorant, like, in some sense, whatever. They judge a lot this cliche. They have a bad opinion on hippies, and it's some of those who are now really appreciating the music. So for me, this is like a big thing. You know?
Yeah, you see how the tables turn. It's awesome. It's so great when someone, like, talks bad about something, and then, like, a few months or a few years later, they're like, sure, this is actually really good. And you're like, one time you told me that you absolutely hated this. I mean, it's good. It's also good to change that. That's happened to me as well with other kinds of music. I'm sure that I didn't like so much back then, and now I like a lot, and probably vice versa as well. Music that I really liked back then and now doesn't really resemble to me much. So
yeah,
change happens in everyone, I guess.
Man, I'm getting more and more, like, more often into pop music. It's very funny. At first I was like, I also, like, some kind of arrogant, or I felt like so special that I wouldn't like pop music because it's like everybody's music and I'm different. But, yeah, just like last week I was just listening on loop to Taylor Swift. Like, I knew you were Trouble track, like just this one track over and over again. I just woke up. Actually. You know this track?
I do, yeah.
And just woke up one morning and in my head it was like, trouble, trouble, trouble. And I was like, okay, we go in, like, and then I was listening to this track.
I can make a Psytrance remix to this.
Actually, I have this idea for maybe the next EP or whatever, which would have like the theme of plastic, like it's plastic, and I would like mangle around like a lot of pop songs or whatever and make it like very edgy thing, but still disturbing. I don't know. Let's see.
Just a good little idea there.
Yeah. And then what I was actually about to tell is like the other track, which I just rediscovered now. It's from the guys at the Tarmac Festival, where I was for a while also involved in the organization, who set up the sound system. They always had like this one track they were using to tune the sound system and to tweak like the parameters before the festival starts. And it's by Mr. Wazir, Missy Elliott, and Skrillex. I don't know if I spoke out the first one correctly, but it's called Ratata. And
yes. I totally forgot about that.
Bro, like it's definitely totally not my genre. Like this 808ish, I don't know, trap, ghetto house, whatever, rap. Like, but man, when I listen to this track on headphones, it's such a pleasure. It's the acoustic sensation happening is so satisfying to me. It's as I said, I'm not vibing with this genre, but the track is sounding so punchy, clear, also very light, like a light mix, and so 3D. Wow, it's bonkers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think there are definitely like songs that were, I wouldn't say meant for headphones, but I'd say that there's different experiences when you hear it on some speakers. Obviously on a phone, there's a massive difference. And then to headphones, I feel like, I don't know if some artists have that intention for it. Probably not. I don't know. But definitely, it's definitely different experiences when the setting of it, the way you hear certain songs, either on headphones or speakers or so, it can make you feel different way, which is really weird because it's the same song.
Yeah.
But it can just make you feel a certain different way to how you heard it, like on a different setting.
For example, the track I just talked about, if I listen here on my home studio setup, which I consider pretty decent, it definitely doesn't give me like the chills as when I listen to this. I have the feeling it is specifically made for like some kind of sound system, or where you really can hear also the lows like very present, and like on in-ear headphones you have that kind of bass sensation. But I think other than that, you would need like a subwoofer to have like really that impact of these 808s. But and another artist who I really appreciate is Billie Eilish. Man,
yeah, she's pretty good actually.
Yeah, man.
There's some songs that I actually really like.
Yeah, I just fell in love with her voice. Like every time I listen to her music, it feels like she's whispering into my ear.
It's soothing, isn't it? It's lovely. It's like ASMR. It's like, lovely.
Man. She definitely knows how to use her voice, and how to deal with the microphone, and to give like the breathe ASMR-ish style to it.
And what's also great about her is that she works with her brother.
Yeah.
Her brother is the producer or engineer.
She's the singer, and
I think that's great.
Yeah, I think they both do together like the creative decisions, but he's definitely the producer guy. And when I listen to some songs of her, or in general with pop music, I have this. It feels crazy how they sprinkle in like the ear candy. Like sometimes I have the feeling like Psytrance feels to me like non-stop ear candy, like with all those brain tickling sounds and whatever, and how they use it in pop songs just very subtle, maybe once or twice in the track, in just this really short break thing, whatever. But this gives it gives us so much more relevance and exposure when it's just this thing which makes you hooked to the track, like this one point in the track where it goes like and then it's gone again, and you're getting addicted to it, because it's not like all the time, like, and of course I also get addicted to Psytrance tracks, but yeah, it's
I never realized that, actually. I don't listen much to pop, to be honest. There are probably certain artists that I probably like that are pretty good, but it's not something that I listen to. So that's something that I've never really realized, like that ear candy situation. It's not something that I've like grasped onto that.
I guess it's also like pretty subjective what is ear candy. Like to me it can be like different stuff. For example, in this Taylor Swift song, it's just like this distortion when she says trouble. Like there's actually almost no hard distortion in her voice at all, but then it's just like cranked, like a layer with totally cranked distortion. And how they play the contrasts in the tracks, I think it's very inspiring for me to listen to pop music and identify what makes it so good, and then translate it through my own language, maybe into my Psytrance music. Not that it will be like pop songs, but these guys definitely know their crafts, like the producers and stuff. It's so sick.
Well, that's something that I'd be looking forward to hearing, because I love doing that. I love remixing. It can be old songs or like even modern songs I've done, but probably 80% of my tracks I've probably sampled either a vocal or just like a guitar or like something like that. I love doing that. I love that aspect of it. And I think firstly the tracks that I've picked, they're all very different to each other, but I feel like I got this like sort of inspiration from like the hip hop sampling. So I used to watch a lot of like videos of how like hip hop producers, how they made their music and stuff like this, and they started talking a lot about like hip hop sampling, and that really, this is many years ago, and I think that's sort of still stuck in my mind, like till today, I guess. So I get a lot of like inspiration from that. I wouldn't say that I sample like the hip hop producers. I would say, but it's something that I love doing, actually.
Same, man. I feel like with sampling, I can put like really easy a part of my identity onto the track, but not like it's my track or whatever, but to send like this message, like I choose this thing because I really like it, and it's in my track, so it's like a statement, a little bit hints my taste or who I am, or at least, and when I then listen to it, it just feels nice to have like this fusion of my style with something I really like. It's
it's intention as well. It's intention at the end of the day, which I think sometimes lacks with some kind of music, or sometimes I feel that, not to point any fingers, and I definitely won't, but in our subgenre, I think sometimes it could be missing that. I think it's too random. I love random. I love making sometimes random things, but I think the first place, I think there has to be that intention behind it. So I think so then it can make sense as well, for me anyway, because obviously we make the music for ourselves. So I think if it makes sense to me with the intention that I put in the beginning, I think that's what I love. That's what I love about the making of the music. It's that intention side of it.
Yeah, sometimes it also really elevates my motivation to work on a track if I just found the right sample and I'd be like, oh yeah, man, like, and with this sample, I want to play this track with this sample and I want to finish it like
Yeah.
it, can really increase my motivation. And I feel like also actually dependent on that already, or like if a track of mine doesn't have like this idea, it's way harder for me to finish it. And like what's the point, like
Absolutely.
just another track, or is it like that track with XYZ stuff? Like it's
Exactly. Yeah.
very important for me. So I think back to this plastic EP thing, it's a nice motivation for me to scramble like all the popish music. I really like whatever. I want to get them all, like Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne, Kelly Clarkson.
Bring it all to me.
Yeah,
Come
bring
here.
them all and like just mutate it to something like burnt, stinky plastic morphed with disturbing Psytrance. I don't know, like a bad mutation, or but then I'm hyped. I'm gonna do this most
That's
likely.
great. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not sure if I should speak about like these ideas on the podcast, but I don't care.
That's good that you're the editor. So at the end, you like that, you can edit it out or not.
Yeah. But
one little thing I did forget to go off the Muse thingy. So I should just do that now, just quickly, just in case anyone comes in and bust in our conversation. Okay.
Sweet.
We good to go.
I'm also not sure if they really could bust it that hard, because I think I don't record your computer audio output, just your voice somehow. Anyway,
okay.
Safe is safe. So I think also another interesting thing could be like that you were based actually in Portugal, but now moved to Australia. And just tell us a little bit about how that came and what you were doing, what you're now doing, etc.
Okay, so I just moved to Australia about 2 months ago, or just a little bit over that. Probably, two months, nearly 3 months. And before that, I lived in Portugal. I was born there, and basically the last few years, I've just been working in hospitality, restaurant, and bar. And after a good 7-8 years of that, I really got fed up of it, which is funny because I actually studied that. So like the last few years of my school years, I studied like restaurant stuff, hospitality, and
like the economics of like a restaurant and stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Everything. How to run a restaurant. How to. It was more focused on like more like fancy fine dining restaurants. It could be for hotels as well. And I really thought I wanted to be. I thought I wanted to own a cocktail bar. The apartment.
Sweet.
Well, that was the trade that I wanted to do. And after 7-8 years later, I was like, this is really not for me. This is not what I want to do. And probably a few years before that, I started making music, or trying to, and getting exploring and understanding what this new world is. So the music side, that probably came about 5 years ago, but I started taking it really seriously probably it's been about 3 years now. what else? Yeah, and so last year, as I was saying, I got really fed up with the restaurant life. So, and also I started getting into music the last few years. So I was thinking, right, what do I want to do then? Obviously I want to change up the career that I want to do, and started thinking like, okay, I would love to get into like the music business area sort of thing. Um, and I started thinking about like, well, I do have a lot of interest into when I go to like parties, raves, festivals. I do start looking at like the speakers and the stage and the PA system and all that. And I started thinking, I think I would love to really get into that because I was so curious and interested, like how they build all this, how they get all these, the PA system all running and stuff. So yeah, for probably like the last year, I really wanted to get into this kind of business and area. And unfortunately, in Portugal, there isn't much of this. There is, but not like an all year round kind of thing. So it wasn't very smart to really get a job in Portugal. And actually, my brother, he's been here in Australia for about 12 years on and off. Um, so I actually started speaking to him like, what's the scene out there like? Um, how would it work if I were to get a job there? And he actually works in a very big nightclub, so like a big famous like company venue sort of thing in Sydney.
Is it
And
like a
he was like, oh,
franchise? Is it like a
it's like
brand?
a franchise sort of thing. Yeah,
What's yeah? What's the name?
they're called Merivale,
Okay.
but the nightclub that I work at is Ivy, or yeah. So he works at Ivy, which is a part of the franchise Merivale. And he said, I could easily get you a job here.
Sweet.
And I was like, okay, I'll look into it. And literally, not even a month later, I was in Australia. that's, how, that's how quick everything went. It was,
Wow.
yeah, very, very quick.
Yeah.
And it took me a little while to actually start working there. Probably took me probably like 3 weeks after I arrived. So I had to get everything sorted out, like my tax file number, get a bank account here as well. So yeah, I've been working in this nightclub for the last about 2 months, a month and a half, and I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
It's been really great. Yeah, it's probably, I'd say finally I'm actually not really seeing it so much as just a job. Obviously, there's the hours are sometimes very complicated, and I have to wake up at like 5 in the morning, which I was really not used to, but it is what it is. When I'm there, I'm really enjoying it. We've got a really good team. Made me feel really welcome, and more each day, I'm learning about the business, like how to set up the decks and the speakers and building the stages. We go sometimes to different venues as well, and we do that. So
Wow.
it's been great. I've been really enjoying it. Yeah.
Sounds like
Awesome. So yeah, that's not it.
Sounds like you can gather a lot of very useful experiences there, especially
Absolutely.
as also like a music performer. Like if you are playing somewhere and some stuff gets fucked up or whatever, you maybe can figure out the solution yourself
Yeah.
and don't be like relying on yeah, fucked up promoter. I don't know. Yeah.
So actually, last week I started a new shift, which was more in that what you were just talking about. So they call it the POC, which is point of contact, which is basically when the event starts. Sort of, there has to be someone there to, if there's any issues or if anything goes wrong or anything. Usually there'll be a person or a few people coming in to sort of rescue sort of thing. So the last week I was shadowing, which is basically someone teaches me what I have to do and stuff like this. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking because they were very busy nights, a lot of people, and just sort of running everywhere and a little bit stressful. But I mean, it's good at the end of the day. It's very fulfilling when if there is an issue and you can fix it straight away, and not having to, you know, like cancel an event while it's happening. For example, I mean that I'm sure that's happened in places.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, it must be very fulfilling if that were to happen. So yeah, I'm just learning also those. So yeah, in that the job that I do, there's different kind of shifts that you can do, different like jobs that you can do.
I was also wondering like how long usually like parties or events like take place. Like, do they go until the morning or?
No, I do know of a venue that do that. I don't think they're a part of our franchise, but I think they go for like all weekend basically.
Yeah.
You can literally go from like Friday to Sunday, I think. I've not been there. But usually the events here, they can start like about 12 in the morning, I'd say earlier. About 12, and it can go to sorry, it can go to probably 4 a.m. I think usually.
Yeah. But yeah, that
so
sounds
it's
human.
quite different to how we would do it in Portugal, which would be, you know, 24 hours or a few days
from noon to noon.
Exactly.
Yeah. For me, this was like, I think when I did like this event stuff, I think like around 4 was always the point where I felt like leaving the party. Like
around 4, really?
Yeah, like this
pretty early.
Or just from a promoter's perspective, like I feel like after 4, people get really wrecked. Like
yes, absolutely.
It's not possible anymore. Like, of course, there are exceptions, but most of the time it's not possible anymore to have like a normal chat or talk or whatever. Like people are not focused anymore.
A lot of bad decisions usually happen after 4 a.m.
Yo, I just found this and yeah, I swallowed it. Whoa, I don't know.
Okay.
but
Good
yeah.
chat.
But yeah, before it's all right, but yeah, and then like also staying until the really end, like see like the quotation marks warriors or whatever who stay until the very last minute of the event. Yeah,
the last man standing.
Yeah, last man standing. It's like not always a pleasure to watch, and also the discussions are like so brain dead when you need to shut down the event and like, come on, just get out. Like, I want to go home. Like,
just leave, please.
Yeah,
I think from if you're working at the event, you definitely after like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, you're just like, when is this gonna end?
Yeah,
I can't do it anymore. Like last week when I was doing those POC shifts I was talking about, I just had like these 2 random people coming up to me. They were so drunk, probably on many drugs, and they were just talking my ear off, and they knew I was working. They know that I have to be like paying attention, like if anything happens or if the artist needs anything. And they were actually saying this as well, like, oh, you like do like a really like serious job. You have to be attention. I'm like, yeah, you've been speaking to me now for 10 minutes and you're saying these things, but you're not actually taking into consideration that I have to be paying attention if anything does go wrong.
Yeah, best case if they just
nonsense things.
Yeah, best case if they just grab you like this, like arm around your shoulder, and then like talking straight into your ear, like and you be just like distance a little bit, like
yeah. I struggle as well with, even if I'm like at a party, like enjoying not working, I struggle so much being like, I'm sorry, like I'm just not in the mood for having a chat.
Yeah.
I will just let it happen. But inside I'm like, Jordan, say something. Just say something. But I can't. I don't have the heart to do that.
Yeah, I definitely understand. I've been in situations like this also so many times. But I also feel like yeah, you need to be like very explicit and like, because when people are drunk or whatever high, they just don't get it. Like they don't understand like this micro communication, like you calming down the conversations. But they could talk like to what these things are called, like people on carton, like just for advertisement, like you. Like a
Okay,
picture
yeah.
of somebody on cartoon, you can tell and like just talk to him, and they would
Just talk to this guy.
probably speak to them, like just needing somebody to speak. I had this also like in my town with DJ gigs. Like I was playing behind the decks, and then there's somebody like, "Hey yo,
Oh,
what's like cool music?" And then they'd be like just like standing there and just trying to ask me things, looking over the decks, and I'd be like, bro.
I hate
Yeah.
that's happened a few times to me, and you just have to ignore them.
Yeah.
You just have to, like, they'll be calling like, hey, blah, 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 and I'm like, I'm in the middle of something, as you can see, I'm touching these knobs. Oh, it's so funny. Bless them though, because they just don't have like it's not the knowledge, but like they're just not understanding at the moment. They're like, you shouldn't probably do this. Like,
yeah.
it is funny though.
Yeah, they somehow belong also to like the whole event thing. Like, can't get an event without those guys. It's like
of course not.
It's like a divine pair of things. Like
Yeah.
Earlier, or when it was some years ago, I would say like tobacco and weed, they are also like a pair like this. They belong together, and so it's like also these people and events, they belong together. Like it's a match made in heaven. You can't get the one thing without the other. Like it's
and if it doesn't happen, then you're like, is something going wrong? Like, why is no one like coming up to me? Like, I'm not used to this.
It's such a weird party, yo. Nice. And how long do you plan to stay in Australia? Is it like open end, or do you already know when to leave?
So my visa finishes in next January. But I will probably go back end of November. My birthday's on the 2nd of December, so I would probably like to go back. Have a celebration with my friends, not having seen them for a while as well. So, and then I'm not sure if I'll end up extending my visa. I've still not made that decision. It's still pretty early as well to make that decision. I think probably towards more the end of it, because I think it's a bit more easier for because I'm British, so I've got a British holding passport. So I think it's easier for us Brits to get an extension. So it shouldn't be much of a problem if I probably do it a few months before or so if I decide I want to stay longer or not. But I'm not sure yet. We'll see how everything goes.
I think like Australian slang's like the most funny one. Definitely.
It's amazing. It's my favorite accent. And the Australians, they're just so funny. They're funny without even wanting to be funny. Like they can be talking about something pretty serious, and I'm just holding in my laughter. And I'm like, Jordan, don't laugh. Don't laugh. They will not be impressed. But it's just, but it's how I do. It's not like I'm laughing at them and taking like the mick out. I don't know. I just find it funny. It's interesting. I'm very as well in how they speak. Pretty good, man.
Norway.
Oh, right.
I just also once this guy from Australia on the podcast wrote, he's also such a funny dude. I had the opportunity to meet him and his brother on tarmac, and
all right, okay.
they are very nice. nice, funny guys. Like, and once every while, I receive a voice message or whatever from him. I just enjoy it. Like it's
Just replay it every time we finish it. I need to hear this again.
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I hope like one day I will visit like Australia and or New Zealand. Like definitely my Lord of the Rings desire is
Yes.
yeah, telling me to go and see that place, but it feels so weird because it's on the other side of the world and everything seems to be like such a hustle. But when I hear you speaking, like, and yeah, 1 month later I was there. Yeah, sounds actually
It's not
not
like
too complicated.
it's very similar. Like, I'm not going to say similar cultures or anything, but it's not that far different to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, anyway. I don't want to offend any Australians if they're listening or if they have different opinions. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'd say it's from obviously living in Europe all my life, well, in Portugal. We do get a lot of British people and a lot of Europe in Portugal. They do love Portugal, so I wouldn't say it's that far off. So, like, being here is obviously like now for 2 months. It's not like that different. There is also a lot of European people here, so
yeah,
it's not like it's a crazy like different kind of world here or anything, which probably a lot of people probably think because it's on the other side of the world. So, but no, it's quite similar, to be fair.
Just know everything's toxic there. Not, especially the people. Just kidding. But yeah, one day, because also when I go there, I will need to stay longer there, and in order to do that, my son needs to grow up like a lot. Whether I take him or not, in any ways, I think
that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, man. Like
take your son.
Maybe before he's going into kindergarten, like 2 months trip there or whatever.
It's hard to do, like, when you're going on a flight for like 24 hours and it's only like less than a week. Is there even any point? Because like,
no,
that's like nearly 2 days of like just going to airports and arriving and then having a big changeover or layover between the next flight and stuff. It ends up being like 2 days or sometimes 3. So at least a month it's good.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, but yeah, definitely one day. I hope so. I need to go.
I would like to go to New Zealand, actually. It does look really nice over there.
Yeah, man, you're really close.
I am, yes, but I'm pretty broke, so I can't really just go over there. No, but it does look really nice. There's a bit of a Psytrance scene there that I've been seeing the last few months. I've been seeing there's like been some events and festivals there and stuff. So
yeah, definitely. It's like very cut off from the rest of the scenes, I guess. But yeah, people still do like Psytrance. Won't stop them from partying there. And man, I think they must have like beautiful locations.
Yeah. It does look really nice. The scenery looks splendid, I must say.
Yeah, man. So I think we already are close to 1 hour, and I'm also, because we started a little bit later, I need to wrap up right now. But
okay, wrap it up.
Like, do you want to plug some stuff, like whatever?
Plug time.
Yeah, where people can check the stuff and
yeah, I guess you can check out my music on SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Beatport. If you would love to purchase it, that would help us and our label out. And you can follow me on Instagram because I probably post more on there. I don't post much. But that is probably the social media that I use the most to post my stuff and upcoming events or releases and stuff like this. I've just released an EP not so long ago, about 2 months ago, and it's on all digital and streaming platforms. So if you're interested, I'd be very grateful if you could listen to my music.
Sweet. Yeah, nice.
Thank you very much, Fred.
Yeah, I really appreciate that you coming on. I really enjoyed this episode. And yeah, I would just snip, cut it here.